healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Hello and welcome to Lady Journey,
welcome to Lady Journey.
I am so freaking thrilled. Friend,
Yes, big get.
colleague,
Big get.
amazing writer-performer, Alison Leiby.
Hi.
You may have known her from her one-woman show, So Successful.
Successful.
God, another show about abortion.
Yeah.
With the inflection, which I think it was meant.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, oh God, a show about abortion.
Here we go
ugh.
again.
I also have to say, you're one of my good friends that I never see.
Yes, I feel that way.
Never see. And
Never see.
it's the Brooklyn Queens dilemma.
The Brooklyn Queens dilemma, we just need to acknowledge we live in two different cities.
Yeah.
We just need to acknowledge that these are two different cities,
Yes.
and we meet in a middle city called Manhattan.
Yeah.
Which I saw someone on TikTok refer to Manhattan as Work Island.
That's what I love. I
And
saw
I'm
that
like,
too.
it is
Yes.
Work Island.
Work Island. You go there to work, and then that's it. Yeah.
I'm living there right now. I'm in Manhattan.
Are you
now.
really?
I've been a Manhattan girly ever since we got a COVID steal.
Ooh, I also am in a COVID steal apartment,
yeah.
and I'm like, well, I'm now priced out of the neighborhood I live in if I ever chose to move.
Yes.
Have they jacked it up yet?
We are still we're holding strong at 2,800.
Nice.
Which
Okay,
is
that's pretty good for-
basically-
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
we do want to come back to the outer boroughs because where we live is not a neighborhood
What
vibe.
you don't have to tell me where you live because obviously people can come find you. But like, what general part of Manhattan?
We're in-
Upper, middle, lower?
I would say Kips Bay, which
Okay.
really has more of the ethos of Murray Hill.
Yes.
So it's a young, yuppie. There are some great coffee shops, but
Yeah.
it's not like here in Astoria where
It's
you're
not
like,
a neighborhood.
my
Yeah.
bodega, my favorite restaurant, it's right there.
Yeah.
You know, so we like it because we like walking to shows, and that's the
Yes.
main thing that we love about
That's
it.
why I live where I live because I mostly perform at Littlefield, the Bell House, and Union Hall, and I can walk to all of them.
Yeah.
And so I
Yes.
just gave up on performing anywhere else.
That's a
Right.
lovely neighborhood. It's Borum Hill, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Park
I'm in
Slope.
Gowanus.
Oh,
I don't know.
Gowanus,
It's
okay.
like, it depends on who you talk to, what street you're on, but like, it's all fine. I'm like, it's adult Brooklyn.
Yes.
Yes, I
That's
love
where the
that.
adults in Brooklyn live.
I love that area. I love that
It's
area.
so good.
Now, Allison, you were one of my first female friends that I met in comedy.
I
in
was
the comedy
thinking
world.
you are definitely my first female friend I met like out in the scene.
Yes.
Was
And-
it at the mic, a Creek mic maybe,
No.
perhaps?
New York
No.
Comedy
New York
Club,
Comedy
Mike,
Club.
which they were brutal because this
Brutal.
was pre-ownership.
Was this like 4 p.m. in the afternoon kind of mic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw
I didn't have a
Allison.
job. I
saw her across the room, the other woman.
yes. We like instantly made eye contact like
Yeah, I was like, I'm watching out for you. Are you watching out for me?
or like just mouthing, "Are you okay?"
I just did a mic down the street the other day. It was me and one other woman. And it's just, hey, dudes.
That has not changed.
No,
huh? Wow.
it's
We
one
did it,
out of
girls.
20. Yeah.
Well, it's the perfect way to form female friendship when you're like, I guess it's us.
Literally
Yeah.
forged in fire.
Yeah.
Just like truly like you're like, I don't even, you could have murdered somebody. I would have been like, this is my girl. Like,
Yeah,
I've got
I will
her.
help you.
I have a
Yes.
friend.
Yeah.
I remember those mics really intensely. And I remember the day we met. There's so many people, like, I don't remember what day we met.
No.
You know?
I just think my friendships always occur if we keep meeting in the same place for like 6 years straight,
Yes.
then you are my friend.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Are you like, our cycles have synced?
Yes. But I remember specifically because it like was early, like one of still like the first like mics that I was like going to. And I
Same.
remember seeing
Same.
you and being like, it's going to be okay.
I remember that era for me. There was also like a $3 bucket, some kind of bar in Murray Hill area
Yes.
where there was every drink was $3, and
Yes.
the inside was just spray painting. And I remember
Monday nights.
Mondays
Mondays and
nights.
Tuesdays. Oh my God,
Mondays
why
and
is that still in
Tuesdays.
my head?
And there was this was an era. This was the early 2010s, like 2010, 2011, where like rape jokes were still funny in
yeah.
a way that people were
Encouraged.
just kind of. You're one woman there, and a guy is kind of joking about raping you, and you're
Yes.
like, "Well, I have some bits about my family, my family's mental illness." So I remember those days, and so it was profoundly important to see another woman and be like, "Hi,
Yes.
Yeah.
hi."
Do you also have jokes about Diet Coke? Like,
Yeah.
And we did. Or at least I know I did. Still
but
do.
you're such a lady journeyer in that you're always going on these. You have fantastic food content that you
Yes.
do.
Yes.
I have to get into it with you and Jared Fried about these charcuterie boards.
Oh yeah,
The
he's
board
big into the
lord.
boards.
Yeah.
I'm more of a snack spreader.
Spreader.
I love
Yes.
a spread. I love 18
I
small
want to
bowls.
graze. I want
Yes.
to graze. I want a little
Yeah.
of this. I want to like. I can't like. My least favorite thing is going to a restaurant and being like, I will have this entree, and that will be
And
what I
committed
eat.
to it for the rest of the night.
I don't want a lot of anything. I want a lot of everything.
A little of
Does that make
everything,
sense?
yes.
Very
Yes.
girl dinner. Very girl dinner.
Yes.
It's I feel like early girl dinner. Pioneer.
Yes. I also feel like a spread is a really great place to socialize. You bond with somebody
Yes.
being like, you talk about the food. That's great.
Start ranking.
Stay away from that.
Yes, exactly.
You form alliances.
Yeah.
with the dips.
I also think like my mom collects this dishware called Russell, like by this designer Russell Wright. It's mid-century modern vintage. She collects it. She had kind of a phase where I was like, is this a problem that we're gonna have to deal with?
Yes.
But she has like 85 dinner plates and like they do these really good, all different colored little bowls. And so she started giving me a bunch and
Nice.
like my aunt collected it. And so she gave it to me too. And so I have all this fancy like trays and small bowls.
That's my
And I feel like
that's
that
my
has
goal.
been kind of dictating the way I'm eating because I'm like, I want to use all the bowls. Like,
Yes.
Exactly.
So I'm going to put a
Yeah.
little. Last night I had like a martini and took an edible and made a little snack spread. And I was like, I'm having the best night of my life alone with the cat.
It's a party.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's a
now,
party.
say the name again of the designer.
Russell Wright.
Russell Wright.
I'm going to put it in the notes. Check out the blog.
Martha
We
Stewart's a
always
fan.
put-
So I
Yes.
feel like
That's it. That's huge.
that's huge.
You've been galvanized.
Yes.
Now, I'm a big fan of the snack spread, especially like watching a movie with a friend. Like, I'm a type of person, I never get Postmates. I never order in because the feeling confined to the choice of
Yes.
one dinner. Like, I love like a sag paneer or something, but just getting that and then only having that and rice.
Yeah.
I would
Indian
rather.
food is for a group. You have
Yes.
to have enough people that you
need
can
to
order
get
several things
little
and everybody
bits.
gets a little bit of everything.
Yes.
I know, and I tell myself I'm saving money going to the grocery store. I'm not ordering out. Meanwhile, I'm getting $100
Yes.
of the pub cheese.
Yeah, but like
and
none
the
of it makes a
crackers.
meal.
Yes,
So it's not
nothing.
like functional for like later in the week.
Yeah, I'm just
Yes.
snacking away on my mini gherkins.
Yes.
Well, I've had
love a
we'll
mini
have like
gherkin.
get together like comic get togethers in Queens, and I'll do a spread. But a lot of times, especially if it's men, they're starving. They need a meal.
Men need a meal.
And
They're
it
like, why wasn't there
drives
a
me-
large protein? You're like, I don't know, because I'm
roast
not a
chicken.
dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, this is the meal.
This
How
is
are
the
you
meal.
not full on this?
I know.
Having a little snack. And then those people too, men will also come to your party and bring Doritos, which I love, but
There's a time and a place.
there's a time and a place, and it's not. Now I've got to get into your Hanukkah party.
You can.
I discovered it when I saw the New York Times article, which perplexingly was actually about the resurgence of ice sculptures.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I thought that was about your party. And I looked back, I was like, this is about ice sculptures.
It's about like, the ice sculptures and luges as like something that people are buying and bringing into their homes and like using in parties.
Is this how what's the
How did you
price
arrive?
range on this?
It is surprisingly not that expensive
Okay.
for what it is,
Yes.
which is an insane thing.
You would think it's like $1,000.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not cheap, but
Yeah.
like, okay, so I got into it because my best friend, Natasha Pickowitz, is a pastry chef. And she's like a very like cool about town gal who does a lot of cool things.
Oh, I love
and
her.
I know, she's fantastic. And she was doing a party where they were doing these like ice sculptures with fruit. And so she was doing kind of all of these like popsicles and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And we were
Wow.
like, we should get an ice luge for Hanukkah. And I was like,
Obviously.
yes, of course, my
Yes.
1-bedroom apartment. Like, I know exactly where to put it. Nope, there's nowhere good. There was like nowhere good to put it. And I was like, do we put it outside? It's like, we're not going to be outside. I have a terrace, correct?
Go outside and check out my ice
Yeah,
sculpture.
it's like people will get stuck to it because it won't start melting because it's like 20 degrees outside.
Put your coat on.
Yeah, put on your coat and go take a shot of tequila out of something everybody's mouth has touched. A real post-COVID moment. So we were like, I wonder what it would be to like get one. And we found a place in Long Island that does them all in with delivery and the custom engraving and a multicolor LED light thing. Cause I was like,
Yes,
I need it
yes.
to light and I need a lot of color options for that light.
well, you need to see the detail.
Yes.
All in because I had it say it's like a double luge that said like Happy Hanukkah and then like had snowflakes on it and it was really deranged. And they bring you the tub that it goes in. It was like $300.
Oh my God.
Which I'm like, I don't know, for such a like
Amazing.
thing at a party.
Right? I've spent that on decorations that nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You
it's
want a talking
centerpiece.
piece.
It
Yes.
was like everybody, like even if people like didn't want to use it, it was just like it's there. Also, like if you stood near it, it was like cold.
Yeah.
I love
took
it.
so long to melt, and my friend was like, "Oh, that's because you keep your apartment so cold.
Oh,
that's like moving something
hilarious.
from the freezer to the
How
fridge."
did
We
you
were
keep
talking,
it
like,
until
2
it
days
melted?
later.
I like. Well, the thing is, it's in this big like bin, like shallow kind of tub. So as it melts, and
Yeah.
then it drains into your sink.
Gotcha.
So as it's melting, there's like some water at the bottom that's all slowly draining out. But it got to a point where I went to bed, or passed out, whatever.
It feels like this entity.
It was like kind of
growing
alive.
thing. Yeah.
Like it's another like figure in the
You're like,
apartment.
I wonder what it's doing right now.
I mean, honestly, I think about it all the time. But like I went to sleep or whatever, and it was like there was like water in the tub, but then also it had melted down. And when I woke up, it had melted down enough that it was no longer, it was so smooth that I couldn't like pick it up.
Yes.
Because it was like,
Wow.
like I was like, oh, I'll drop it. It's like slippery because it's like wet ice that's
Yeah.
rounded now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the tub had like I wanted to put it in the tub, but like the tub had so it was draining slowly. And so I had to kind of just like leave it there for another full day. And like pieces of it would kind of like fall off and like really startled me. And then eventually I got to the point where I could lift up the tub and I put it outside, and it took like another day to all fully melt. And
This is so
and then I like
wonderful.
had this tub, and I had to like put it in my building's recycling area. It's just like a plastic tub, like it's not anything.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you can
yeah.
recycle it. And I was just like, "Can you guys take this?" They were like, "What is this?" I was like, "I couldn't explain to you." They're like, "No, we heard the party, so it's fine."
I love the aftermath. I love the
yeah,
aftermath.
Yeah, because nobody talks about what happens after the party leaves with an ice sculpture.
That's the thing.
And
It's
that's
like,
fascinating.
you really had to let it evolve.
Yes.
Into
Let it run its course.
its course. It had to kind of like become all of the things that it needed to become.
Yeah.
I was just like
was
so
evolving,
scared I was going to
yeah.
try and pick it up and then just like drop it on my floor and it would just shatter into a
Yes.
million wet pieces of
Oh.
ice. And I was like, there's just no coming back. I would have to move.
I also
No.
just picture it like eventually just like collecting cat hair.
Yes. Well, this was like pre cat, so I don't
Pre-cat.
think that he would have like handled that.
Yeah.
And
Also-
if I have another Hanukkah, I didn't have one this year because I was like, it's just too much. The holidays were becoming too much. And I was like, it's really
Yeah.
hard to schedule something in December anyway. And I was like, let me take a beat and then regroup.
Revisit next year.
So next year
Yeah.
I'm going to, and I'm like, I think I'm going to take the cat to a little kitty hotel and be like, you can
That's
come
nice.
back when this is over.
Yeah.
Because like, you'll hate this.
Attacking the ice sculpture.
Yeah. I feel like it might lick it.
Yeah. I
Well-
think he would actually love it. But
Yeah.
I don't think he would love the party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just-
yeah.
And I'm like, well, I've now done the ice sculpture, ice luge. Like, what's
next?
leveling
Yes.
up this
You
You
party?
need a fondue. You gotta go
Fondue is interesting.
Although, can I just say, we've talked about the fondue water fountain.
no,
Trashy.
See, I don't like
Yeah.
the fountain. I like a classic, a 70s pot where
Yes.
you have the sticks
Yeah.
and you're just like, this is, I had fun for Christmas. I went to Lane Pichelle and Julia Olson's place, and they
Okay.
had me and Lisa and Clark Jones over, and we did fondue, and like Lane's a very good cook and made it, and I was like, this is delightful.
Oh, I love that.
Fun.
And
I feel like you're not-
I brought over all the stuff to dip in it. So I did like bread. I did roasted baby potatoes,
Ooh.
which like in
Yummy.
Gruyere fondue was
Yeah.
very good, and
Oh.
like some like blanched broccoli, and then a bunch of crudité and like apples and
Oh,
stuff. And it was
fantastic.
lovely. Again,
Yeah.
like a spread.
I feel
Exactly.
like you're in a little Swiss
Yes.
chalet.
Yes,
Now-
very Swiss in Sunset Park.
When, what do you consider, or what thought do you put into with your spread? Because I still find perfecting the spread to be hard, where you're like, I find that sometimes I'm like, this is all cheese.
Well, I think like the variety is the thing, right?
Yes.
Like I like going salty and sweet. Like let's throw some sweet on there. Let's
Absolutely.
have. I always like. I grew up. Our house and my grandmother's house always had little bowls of nuts and chocolate covered raisins all over the house for at any time if you
Yes.
I
needed one.
love it.
And I
love
do
it.
that too, but I'm like, well, I'm never far enough from the kitchen in my apartment to
Yes.
like not be able to access anything in the kitchen. But I
need
still
a-
like I have them like on the edge of my like kitchen counter, like to be like, it's like the living room.
A
Yes.
little oasis.
And I'm just like, I'll have a raisinette.
oh, I love raisinets.
What are these?
A dark chocolate covered raisin and then like a little almond. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Oh, snack.
But I feel like I think it gets like I've gotten really into dips lately.
Okay.
Making some of my own. I like a tahini based dip.
Oh, I
Okay.
love tahini.
I love tahini. I love like all
delicious.
things that go with tahini.
Yes.
So I've been trying to make like spicy tahini dip and then can have like veggies and pita chips like as kind of a a slight left from a hummus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A little something different.
Well,
Yeah.
because like when people do hummus, they really just get, what is it, sabra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no sabra in my house. I don't have sabra in my house.
I do love making my own hummus. Now, do you?
I never do. I'm too lazy to make
I
my
did
own.
it once and it was horrific, and I will never do it again when it's so cheap to buy it at
Well,
the
I
store.
think that's the thing is like it is pretty accessible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Although-
there are some things where I'm like, it's so hard to get this and it's so hard to get it good that I may as well just learn how to make it good.
Right.
Hummus is not one of those things.
Exactly.
It's time consuming because you have
Pesto,
to
too.
pick. You have to pick the little shells off of all of the chickpeas. Otherwise, it kind of clumps, and that's where you lose about an hour. But I just slap on a good murder podcast, solving
I
a
feel like
mystery
I could get
with my
stoned and get into that
Yes.
as like an as like a repetitive activity.
zen
Yes.
kind
As like,
of like
okay.
removing
no screens.
shedding.
Yes. That we did talk about that with the patriarchy of
the life hacking,
life
yeah.
hacking, where for women, us, it's like cleaning. Like, men, why don't you try cleaning instead of like
Yeah.
climbing
Doing your
Mount
ice
Everest?
bath while
Ice-
I'm
yeah.
washing our kids.
Well,
Because
I'm
it's the
doing an
same-
ice bath these days.
Oh, are you really?
That's what we
Okay.
need to talk about. So we'll
yes.
get to it.
Yes, we'll get to it. Now, I want to ask a question because
Please.
one thing that I've been entranced by lately, which I have not experienced, but I'm really taken with the idea of these gigantic, the entire table as the charcuterie board. As you're more of a bowl person, it seems like. So what's your opinion on that?
I feel like
That's $1,000 tray.
it's so
Yes.
so much goes uneaten with those.
Yes.
And I feel
Yes.
like with boards in general, you see a lot of like, oh, and now this has been out, so it's kind of done, and
Yeah,
it's
the
like
cheese is
weird.
picked
Whereas like
through.
bowls of things, you like, I'm like, these just go back in the bag.
yes. Easy
yeah.
breezy.
But yeah, I feel like also like I appreciate the visuals of abundance,
Right.
Yes.
but I also like having more control in what touches each other.
Right.
100%.
And I'm not like one of the, like, I grew up being one of those picky eaters that's like, don't let anything touch anything else
Same.
on the plate. And like, I'm not that person anymore because I'm an adult. But I think when you're doing like soft cheeses, when you have like meat, it's like things do just kind of spill into each other. And it's like, ugh, now I've got an olive in this thing that's like, that's not for olives. And
Yeah.
it just feels messy.
You're getting mad at people like, who put the olives with?
Can I have a word? It's such a good
Yeah.
point. It's such a good point because they are like $1,000. I think
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
have that out there. So it's like there's not another snack than that.
Well, that's
Yes.
the thing is like, then that's the snack. And you're like, oh,
I guess I'm back over here at the food table again.
yeah, it's not for me. I don't think. I don't like, give me that, but nachos.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nacho table.
I love nachos.
Oh my God.
Delicious.
I made nachos the other night for the first time in a while, and I was like, oof, we did it right.
What tortilla chips do you use when you do nachos?
I always forget the name of the brand because they have like 15 words on the front, and I'm like, which one is the name? But it's the ones that Tacombi sells.
Okay,
They come in the
Tacombi.
bag that's
Yes.
like green and yellow. And they're like really hard corn chips. Like they're really thick.
That's
I
what
think I
love.
have them
They're
at my
really
bodega,
crunchy.
and they're
They're really good.
So good.
I'm all about texture.
Me too.
That's my number one.
Yeah.
Texture above taste, honestly.
Well,
Yeah,
I get
the
really
crunchy.
mad with a nacho if somebody just slaps on like a cheese whiz.
No. Oh, no.
Oh, you need
Psychotic.
the beautiful melted
Melted with
cheese.
the
You need it with love.
cojita. What
Oh
is
my-
it? Cojita.
That's
Yeah.
the like
Coti-
crumbly,
Yes.
yeah, which is so good.
little
I
on
like
top.
doing just like a shredded cheddar,
Okay.
like tortilla chips, cheddar, black beans, maybe meat if it's like a meat time, but
Yeah.
often you don't need it.
Yeah.
Pop that in the oven for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Ooh.
I go oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's like,
conventional.
because then it's crispy and not
Yeah.
like
Soggy.
And then top it with like, I just like buy pico, hot sauce, sour cream, avocado, and then a ton of cilantro and green onion on top just to like make it really
Ooh,
fresh.
So good.
delicious.
Yes.
So good. And then like a squeeze of lime. Just to,
I'm a little different with mine. Like I got this from you. You told me about this to do ground beef with a taco mix, which I do at home. I never do
Yes.
packets because it's never hot enough for me.
Yeah.
Make it really nice and hot, and then just have the chip, the ground beef taco, and then like a little sour cream, and then a little
Just dipping it.
little
oh,
pico.
so doing a
Yeah.
dip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I also like because
A
then
break-
you're crunch all the
breakdown.
time.
Yes.
It's very crunchy. Very
Crunch all the
crunchy.
time.
Get even amount of stuff. But you know, sometimes on the nacho, I like it when it's just, oh my God, I got the big one.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoa, this one's still crispy underneath.
Yeah.
Like it's like it is kind of a fun excavation to
Yes.
participate in.
What do we
which-
got going on over here?
Yeah, and
Yes.
again, like with like one other person, I think a nacho. Like I made nachos for like me and a friend. We were watching old Real Housewives of New York.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Season
2009.
8.
No,
season 8.
Is that Scary Island?
That's season 3. But season 8 is when Lou meets Tom and is in love. It's before, and then they get engaged. And it's the Miami trip where she's like, please don't say it's about Tom. And Bethany's like, it's about Tom. It's like truly, I mean, it's art. I defy any television writer to write something as good as anything anyone on The Real Housewives has ever said, including myself.
The show was life-changing.
It is, and I've always thought the editor should win the
Comedy
Tom
Awards.
Sawyer. Is it the Tom Sawyer or the Mark Twain Comedy Award?
They should absolutely be nominated in a category. Put them up against the people that write The Bear. I think they're better at doing comedy.
Exactly.
I love The Bear. I think it's a great show. It's just not
I
funny.
love it too, but it does stress me out very badly.
I'm
Yeah.
not like, I'll laugh.
I need my hydroxyzine. I need a sedative.
Which again, I love it, but it's like the editors of a Bravo show are more tapped into like creating laughs per minute than
Yes.
a writer of a dramedy at this point.
Yeah.
Which
So good.
I also am. So
Now, tell us about these ice baths. What's going on?
So TikTok and Kelly Ben Simone both influenced me.
Oh my God.
I watched Ultimate Girls Trip when the old Roni gals go
Yes.
on their little like 6-day trip. And she did it and I was like, okay. And then I saw some people on TikTok doing it. Giant mixing bowl full of ice, fill it with water.
Okay.
Let it sit for a minute so that like the water gets cold. And then you just put your face in it for, 5 to 15 seconds. And I have done it every single day since New Year's Day.
Wow.
It does feel really good. I also call that the Mommy Dearest because that's in it's in the opening sequence
Yes,
of Mommy Dearest.
it is.
It's so good. It feels good. I actually think it's a great hangover cure.
Great hangover cure. It depuffs my I have like a puffy face in general and like my body like puffs up in response to literally anything.
I'm a puffer too. I'm
Anything
very
that comes in
puffy.
contact with it. It's like, what if your face was bigger? And I'm like, I don't know. Is that the solution, body? So like it does depuff my eyes in the morning, which get very like kind of like swallowed by my face. And then it also like wakes me up in a way that like then it's not like every second until coffee is available is a nightmare. It's like, oh, I'm kind of up now. And if it takes me a minute to like get out the door or make coffee at home, we're good. We're awake. We're functioning. If somebody called, I could answer.
Yeah.
Wow, I love this.
Yeah.
I love just doing it on the face because we've talked to, I think it was Gina Brion. She does the cold showers where she turns it all the way cold at the end, and
then
I don't feel like
Push
that.
your chest into it.
And just
To
go
me,
into it.
I don't know.
feel
That
like-
doesn't do it for me because it's not. I don't think that that's cold enough to do what like a cold plunge or an ice bath does because you're just like a lot of your body's not getting hit with the cold water. So I feel like it's kind of just like a
and I always inadvertently kind of like stick everything else out.
Yeah.
Like
You just have like
and
your
I'm like,
cheek
look, I
and
did it.
hair.
It's like all I did was like wastewater.
Yeah, the cold shower feels like self-harm to me. I've tried it. I hate it every time.
Yeah.
And even at my gym, if I go, like, I'll even do the cold shower and then go straight into the steam room, which is kind of fun. But, like, even then, I just feel like the whole time I'm just like, when does it stop? When does it stop? And I don't know if I need that stress in my life.
Yeah.
I like a cold plunge, like in a spa bath situation.
Yes.
I do like that, but I don't know if the cold shower does it for me. I'm like, to me, it's not the
plunge
same
is
like
better.
shock to your system,
Yeah,
which
the
it
jump
feels
in.
like that's
Yeah.
what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it feels like that's like the point.
Well, we
Like,
are.
Yeah. Oh, I figured.
yeah, we watch
That's the whole show.
60 hours of TikToks.
Do you remember the like? I don't know if it was a myth, but it was like, oh, if you rinse your hair in cold water when you get out of the shower, it's gonna be shinier.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember like trying to
Closing your pores.
and being like having my whole body like not under the water, and then like making it cold and being like just the hair.
Yeah.
And it's like it looked the same.
I want
Right.
to try this.
All of that's bullshit.
Yeah, it is. I think it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I really want to try the face plunge because I also get very puffy.
Yeah.
Sugar puffs me, wine puffs me. I mean, I could have like 7 martinis and I wake up great.
Yeah,
but
but
one
wine-
glass of wine, it's like I'm like, am I have moon face.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Yes.
just
Am I on
crazy.
prednisone right now?
Yeah,
Like what's
yes.
happening to me? But it is. So I like it for that. And like, even if it doesn't like visually change how I look, like I feel
You
like
feel better.
my eyes are more open.
Yeah.
Like I'm functioning.
A little
Yeah.
face caffeine.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I always get when I'm tired, my eyes hurt are just like the tired the most, and then the
know.
cold actually does the best thing.
Yes.
For you.
I will also say it like drains my sinuses every morning too.
Wow, that's
Wow.
huge.
And I haven't been sick yet this year.
Yes.
And
Flu
I-
shot?
obviously a flu shot. I also
Same.
got the Novavax COVID vaccine, which has like no side
Oh.
effects and is supposed to be like a little bit
chiller,
stronger
Okay.
in terms of like lasting longer.
Okay.
And my friend who's like very on top of COVID stuff, her mom is very sick. She was like, get that one. And I was like, I'll do whatever you say.
Maybe I have to
wow.
revisit. I stopped doing the boosters because
They were brutal.
it was every 6 months, and I was like, is that necessary?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
didn't
think
do
I
much
got
research
two.
into it either.
So I did that for this season. I got the flu shot and then I got that vaccine, which was like a little harder to find, but it was like they had it at CVS in Brooklyn. Like it's around and it doesn't need to be refrigerated. So like they just have it on hand in a better way. I don't
Wonderful.
know.
It's
Feels
in,
like
the,
the
in the
answer.
parking lot.
Yes. Yeah.
So we left it outside. Did you want some? So I haven't been sick, but I have very bad allergies in the spring. So I'm like already kind of like, oh no, which I feel like the ice thing is going to be really huge.
I used to do the neti pot, but
Sure.
it would the neti pot is so passe. I feel like
Yeah.
nobody netties, but you know what the thing with the
It'll
neti
probably
pot,
research soon.
yes,
Yes.
knowing Gen Z, they're gonna act like they
They're
discovered
like,
it.
Yes, exactly.
Have you guys heard?
Yeah, but the neti pot, the thing with the neti pot is that, it was great to drain, but every now and then I would not drain fully. And then I'd be out talking to people and maybe like bending over, picking up something and just water
Oh my
dripping
God.
out. And you're like, I'm sorry. I'm so at a restaurant. Oh, looking at the menu
It
and
seems like that's what happens before. Like they're like, well, the aliens are here and they got Katie first.
Yeah.
Just like, but I find like, so I'll do the face thing and you have to breathe because you're in still water. Like you have to be breathing out through your nose the whole time or else water just goes in. So you're breathing out. And I think like it constricts, again, not a doctor.
Yes.
You guys tell me if I'm right since you are. Like, I feel like it just like freezes everything up in a way that like then like I go blow my nose, I'm good like all day.
Yeah.
So great.
I'm not like, I mean like now I'm a little like
Yeah, I'm a little wet.
Yeah, it's a little
Anytime
wet.
I go outside, it's like you.
It's like
I'll
the
be
cold.
helping, reading over someone's shoulder, and just like drips coming out, and you're like, oh God.
Pardon me.
Yuck.
Now,
Disgusting.
this is part of your morning routine. You were saying
Yes.
you've got like a whole new. Walk us through what's.
Here we go.
I love a morning routine. I love it.
I wake up usually holding my phone, which is still open to TikTok from
Same.
3 a.m. the night before.
Do you have
my
a hard
gosh.
time sleeping? Because I have to stop scrolling or I tell myself, do not do it tonight. You've got to wake up.
I know. I can't.
But
'cause
I
can't-
love it.
I do the same thing. It's
I
so
can't.
fun. I
I
feel
have-
like it's my little treat for my brain.
I refuse to like dive into the world of like sleep hygiene and like have no screens in my bedroom. Like
Exactly.
I'm an adult and I
Accept
need
it and move on.
This is the world.
Yeah.
No, it's like
this
the
is the
whole
world.
day
Yeah.
you've been working. You've been doing your whole life the whole day.
And I try and like not look at TikTok except for like sometimes I'm like, okay, if you don't feel like working out and what you like, go get on the treadmill downstairs and just like you can walk and look at TikTok for 40 minutes.
It counts. It counts.
It counts. It's steps.
It steps.
It's limited because I
Yeah.
get bored.
I'll eventually.
You're
turn it off.
learning
Yes.
what a narcissist is.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
learning.
Yes.
But yeah, I will eventually, like after 45 minutes to an hour, I'll
Yes.
watch a horrific video, like the guy that got trapped in the Nutty Putty cave and died upside down, and then I'll be like, I think I should stop.
I saw another one of those and I wanted to send it to you. Weird. For some reason,
I somehow got in cave death TikTok where I'm just
I hate
now
when
getting
it like when you watch one thing because you're like, oh my god, what's this? And then it's like, oh, would you love only this now? And you're like, no,
please help me. But then you can't stop watching.
Right.
There's a series of just horrific cave deaths.
Yes.
yes,
And then
showing
that
them how
took
they're
over.
like,
The man
a
was-
guy just died.
He kept climbing in further and further, and then he climbed into a little hole, and then that
Died?
was it. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. I will say TikTok sometimes like I'm like, oh no, I've had nightmares, and it's because of what I saw on TikTok, like being beamed into my face. So I wake up. Riz the cat is usually like right on me. He sleeps right up against. I love him so much.
It's the best.
I just love him. What was I doing before I had a cat? My God. So then I'll look at like 10 minutes. I'll check my email. I'll look on my phone for like 10 or 15 minutes. But it is a real like, okay, this is built into your time, but like this isn't the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Get up, brush my teeth, make my bed. I'm a bed maker.
Oh my
Same.
gosh.
You got
make
to.
the bed.
It's a game changer.
It just like you like walk into your bedroom, you're like, oh.
I'm
Yes.
an adult.
And
Yes.
if anything,
I'm paying my bills.
It also does it. It's not hard.
right?
Yeah.
And it sets the tone of the day. And also, if the rest of the day is shit, at least you come back to a made bed.
Yes.
Messy bed, messy head. If my space is messy,
Yeah.
I'm just flailing.
Yeah, I'm a pretty like there are times when like my apartment I'm like, oh no, things have really gotten out of control here. But like for the most part, like there's not dishes in the sink. The bed is made. Most clothes are either away or like kind of on one chair.
Organized.
Organized. I'm
Yes.
organized.
Great. It's great.
So brush my teeth, make my bed, and then I go set up and I have the bowl just sits on the counter all day.
Okay.
I'm like, otherwise I'll be like, ugh, I don't want to bend down and get the bowl.
Yes.
So I'm just like, leave the bowl out. It's part of the decor now. It's really ugly. I need a better system, but it's also the thing that I see.
You
it
have
and
to
I'm
get
like,
you a nice fancy ceramic bowl then.
I know. I was
Yes.
thinking that. but
Treat
it's-
yourself.
This is just like an old plastic mixing bowl. And I'm just like, well, okay.
Set for success.
Fill it with ice, fill in the water. And then I got really addicted to, those little like shots of like ginger, lemon, turmeric.
Yes,
love
we
it.
have one in the fridge right now.
I truly, I'm like, oh, all my money is going to this now. I'm trying to learn how to make them at home because I know it's cheap. You literally just need to blend up like a lemon and ginger and water and then like add turmeric and strain it. But I'm like,
what is it, like $5 a shot or something?
yeah, they're so expensive. But like they have them right at checkout, like at my like store next door. So I'm always like,
Yeah.
So I'm addicted to those and this like fancy honey my friend gave me from Colorado. That's like
Manuka?
no, not Manuka honey, but
Manuka,
it's like
yeah.
it's like propolis live bee. I don't know. It's like
Ooh,
I'm like
yum.
she's like it's medicine, and I'm like I believe you.
Yeah.
During COVID, like early days when we were like, what helps it? And I was like, eating honey like Winnie the Pooh, pantsless, just like eating honey.
Can I say though, you should never feel bad about spending, even if it is slightly wasteful. Your health is your wealth, and it's an investment. It's an
even if
investment.
it brings you
something that's-
joy.
even if it's
Yeah.
like completely like there are zero health benefits, I'm like, I enjoy this and I know it's not bad for me. And I do
Yeah.
so many things that are bad for me. Like just also you could do something that's like
Right.
You
just
could be
neutral.
smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
You could be smoking crack.
Who cares? Yeah. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So I'll have a little like teaspoon of that honey and then I'll do the shot
Okay.
back to back, which is
Love
really,
it.
and
Love
then you're
it.
kind of like, all right. And then I'll dunk my face in the ice bath for, I usually do like 2 10-second dunks. You have to start slow. I was like 3 seconds. I was like, that's kind of all I could handle.
Wow.
I'm up to 10.
Okay.
2 of those, then go slather lotion on my face
Okay.
and then deal with the coffee of it all.
Yes.
And then then the day begins.
Yes.
But that's my morning routine.
I love it.
Love
There's
it.
something so soothing about just getting up and having the routine to just
Yeah.
get you into the day, because when you don't have a routine, I'm kind of experimenting, changing some stuff now. I'm like listening to
Interesting.
little affirmations. I'm like, where am I going? I'm trying to do a high protein right when I wake up.
I'm ready to talk to you about a high protein breakfast.
Yeah, because high protein, I got into this thing like the 30-30-30, which
Yes.
is like you get up, you have the 30 grams of protein.
Psychotic.
You go to do the 30-minute workout. I am not doing that. I did it for
No.
about a week and I was like, I can't, if I eat another chicken breast dry at the top of the day.
Chicken breast dry.
No, it's not
It's
good.
so great. Just eat
No,
sand.
I felt like I felt like a killer. I felt like a mad woman just eating a bird before setting out. But I have now, I'm doing bars, barbells, which they're 20 grams of protein. It just tastes like a little chocolate bar. It's probably not great to have it every day. It's a sludge, but whatever. It's like a treat.
I mean, again,
it's protein. But when I have one in the morning and then I have a high protein lunch, I'm good for the day.
It's true.
I'm never like blacking out and coming to with a thing of Krispy Kremes.
Yes.
You know?
Sure. I am. Well, I feel like also like I feel like we're all in the same boat of like I don't have a thing that happens every day at the same time anymore. Like my day is kind of rolls into it. Sometimes I'm like I got to go do this and this, and then some days I'm like there's really nothing on the table until 6:30. So
Right.
Yeah.
what's this? Go right.
Right.
When you were doing your morning routine, in my head, I'm like, please don't say you write for 30 minutes in the morning.
I mean, 30 minutes a day.
I
Get at 30
try
minutes
to
a year
do-
is what's happening for me at
I
this point.
always try to do that,
No.
and it's never worked for me.
I know it's not me, and so I refuse to try.
Right?
Because I'm like, you will just feel like a failure, and there's no
Exactly.
need to like add that into what's happening.
Exactly.
But I feel like having this routine has like, because I don't wake up and have a job that starts at the same time every day, it has helped me like start the day.
Yes.
And then I've been having a very good high protein breakfast.
Okay.
Listen.
What are you having?
English muffin,
Okay.
my favorite breakfast bread.
Love a
It's the best.
Toasted.
It's the best.
I'm a big fan of Bay's English muffins.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? They have a
Gotcha.
sourdough one too. So it's like a
Oh,
little, you get that
sourdough.
like sour.
It's amazing.
The texture of the English muffin, I can't.
The nooks and crannies.
What is it?
What is it?
What is it?
It's so
It's
freaking
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
The crispiness is on another
It gets
level.
crispy, but then it's still chewy.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, because like toast, sometimes you're like, well,
My
hard.
roof of my mouth is destroyed.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I've been eating glass all day.
Yeah.
So English muffin toasted, cottage cheese,
Okay.
which I know is like
People are into cottage cheese now.
It came back.
I was
it came back
never,
hard.
I'm not grossed out by it, but it's never been a food that's been part of my everyday routine.
Yes,
And
I do love it with fruit.
See,
it's such a good balance.
I go savory.
You go okay. That's a
okay.
very Alison Roman
I know.
thing.
I know. And I'm like, we already have an Allison with 1L and brown hair.
Oh, yeah.
That is cool. We don't need you. So cottage cheese and then chili crisp, like chili oil with like garlic and onions.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. I love a chili crisp.
I love a chili
it
crisp.
goes with a lot of stuff.
It like it just like that becomes what the flavor. And I'm like,
Yes.
great. So now it's just like creamy, put that on, and then I keep at any given time I have some like soft boiled eggs or like hard boiled eggs that are like slightly jammy,
Jammy?
on the inside.
Oh, I love
in my
jammy
fridge.
egg. Oh,
so then I
yum.
like open one of those up, cut it in half, put half on each side of the English muffin. So you've got egg, you've got cottage cheese, you've got flavor, and you've got a little bit of a carbohydrate, which you do need.
you do
do
need.
need- you
We're
do
back on
need-
carbs. I think
We're back on carbs.
carbs.
Yeah.
What we did
To carbs
is really fucked up.
We constipated ourselves.
I know.
Yeah, and
You
they
know,
made
we
it
were-
seem like it was bad, and I was like, that's an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, especially like, of course, I follow like the health girlies on TikTok, and you know, it's a lot of like this smoothie has 1,000 grams of protein. It's like, what? Where's that coming from?
Yeah.
You know, your stomach is not okay.
Right. Like there's only so much of anything we can like process and digest at any time. Like I
Right.
feel like whenever I pivot into like the mega high protein or like the like insane fiber or what, and I'm
Yeah.
like, my body's like, whoa, what? Like, what happened? We can't lie
throw
down.
loop.
This is not going to work.
Why are we
Absolutely.
doing
Yeah,
this?
you get the horrific gas pain that
Or-
you're like, I
Yes.
need to stop what I'm doing.
Yes. You're like, should I hang upside down like a bat? What's the answer here?
Or like with doing keto, we just accepted that we were constipated for 3 days.
No.
Psychotic.
No.
Yeah, you're like,
Psychotic.
that's the medicine working.
But yeah, that breakfast has been my like go-to for the past like week, like month or so.
Now, do you
That's
eat
great.
something? I am a known person to have a breakfast and I'll eat it for a year straight and then I will never revisit
Never again.
it.
Yeah.
Never again.
Never again. Like I will never eat this again after September.
Yeah, and then that's how I keep track of years.
Yes. Well, I go through where I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I text Alyssa Wolf,
Yeah.
a very wonderful
yes.
comic and person, and I'll be like, well, I'm off yogurt.
Yeah.
It's over. Yogurt is over.
That's how we start. Katie and I go into parties. We're like, we're done with nuts. Yeah.
I'm
just
in
like-
a new era.
I'm in my cereal era. You wake up one day, you're like, if I even have to look at yogurt, I'm gonna throw up all over my countertop.
Yes.
Like it just like but like I am like a creature of habit. Like it's the same every
Yeah.
day until like
Something
I can't.
else comes along.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
dating.
doing my green smoothies that I have been doing.
I love a green smoothie.
I was doing romaine or spinach, and then like celery, cucumber,
Yum,
a
yum.
little apple, a little ginger, and a lemon.
Yes.
I had that every day for a
I love
year,
that.
and now I'm like, if I taste it, if I see it, I will lose my mind because I started to feel oppressed by it.
It's
because
a breakup.
Cutting
You're like,
the celery, yeah.
yeah, you just
you
can't.
have to move to another city.
Yeah,
There's
you
nothing
can't.
like it though. It hydrates you in such
Oh,
a
I
way.
love
You're
that
like,
kind
oh,
of like
it's so
juice
good.
or smoothie
Yeah.
genre. The like
Yeah.
lemon ginger greens.
I
Yes.
did that. I went through the celery phase, celery juice phase. They were supposed to say like it makes your skin look amazing. Again, it's like
No.
we were just talking about like supplements. If I don't see plastic surgery results,
Yes.
I'm not doing it again.
Yes.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I went through so much like celery. Like I was buying like vats of it.
Yes.
And
That's insane.
spending hours cleaning my juicing equipment that I was like, if I want to juice, I'm just going to go to the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always buy juice at the store. Juicing
Yeah,
at home
I can't.
is
I
because
can't.
you're saying like with paying for the ginger, you are also paying for your time.
Yes.
because cleaning a juicer is a nightmare. I use a NutriBullet.
It's like
so I'm still
cleaning-
getting the
Yeah,
pulp.
yeah, yeah.
You're clean. It's like cleaning a gun because it's such like blades and
It's so dangerous. At any point, it could kill you while you're taking care of it.
yes,
Like you should lock it up if there's a child in the home.
it is really dangerous. We were talking about Katie got a mandolin and her and Mike they called it was like the death box.
Yes,
Yes.
because I was just going at it with the Brussels sprouts, and I would never use the protector because
No, I know.
because then you just have half a Brussels
Right.
sprout.
You run out and then, I don't have a mandolin and I really want one because I think a lot of the things I
It's it's worth it.
And I cook a
I do say it's
lot,
worth it.
And I
Yeah.
think that it would
Yeah.
like benefit my life. But I do a lot of cooking just like a little stoned or drunk. And I just know that I'm going to lose a finger.
You
or
will,
bleed
even
out.
sober.
Yeah.
You
well,
will.
that's the thing is like, and it's like, I'm nervous. I've used them before and I'm like, wow, this is like much better than like trying to thin chop cabbage.
Yeah.
But I just am like, this is not something I should have.
It will take your finger right off.
Right off.
And then you're like, okay, I have to call 911, I guess.
Yeah, that's the only solution.
Yeah.
So,
Not
yeah,
good.
I don't have one, and
But yeah, it's
I don't think
cleaning
it's for
those
me.
blenders and stuff. Yeah, I'm like, I can't. It's too much, too many parts. I have it all displayed on the counter drying at one time, and to do it the next day, you're like, I've got a life. I've got TV to watch.
it's unsustainable. It
It's
really
not
is
sustainable.
unsustainable.
Yeah.
Sustainable.
I can't
and then
do
you
it.
go to the store, you're like, ugh, the juice is $10, but it's like, at what price is your sanity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pay
Or like
$10.
parts of your hand.
Yeah,
Like I want to keep all 10 of my fingers, and I'll spend $4.99 per ginger shot
it's
to make
worth
sure I
it.
do.
Yeah,
Now, Allison, I want to talk to you about, because in your bio, I was researching you for this. You have,
We've only known each other for 15 years.
let me get to the bottom of it. In your Instagram bio, you put on there that you're a light packer, which I didn't know
Yes.
about you. And I'm also obsessed with packing light. So I
I'm
want to get
such-
into it a little bit about your ethos.
I moved to LA for 3 months and brought a carry-on.
I love this. This is
Fascinating.
It. This is it, because
fascinating.
you need the basics, you need the pieces.
Yes.
I feel like you should write a Substack
I honestly am thinking about
Yeah.
it.
because I think you're good at writing, and the little nuances of life I'm like really enjoying, and
I'm
I feel
all about
like I would
tiny details
and perfecting
and
life
minutia.
to your best.
Yes.
to live your best life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think part of my light packing, which I always was a light packer, but I had like a full year where I couldn't have an apartment of my own because my identity was stolen and it destroyed my credit, and I was in between apartments, and so I couldn't get permanent living stuff, and I was between New York and LA, and I had gotten rid of everything I owned, and I was kind of just like
Ooh,
living out.
liberating.
It was very like there was a moment where I was like, what have I done? I'm like, this is not it. This is not the like fabulous entertainment career, adult single woman. Like I was like, this is a hellish nightmare.
It's almost like you're being born again.
I like had a storage unit in
Yeah.
like the meatpacking district that like Mike Racine had to like help me go drive all my stuff to. It
Bless his heart.
I know. Good old Mike. And like I was like bopping around from like I lived in the East Village for like 6 months, and then I was like like it was fun.
Yeah.
But I had very little, and I was just like, oh, I've learned how to make like things like now I could never live like that. I've accumulated a lot of stuff again.
Yeah.
In the last
it doesn't take long.
8 years. Yeah, exactly. It's like suddenly you're like, well, I need some new kitchen stuff, and you're like, well, $8,000 later, I have nowhere to stand in my house.
My bowls.
Everything's
I have my
out.
bowls. Yeah.
But I am like my personal style, not to brag about how fabulous it looks right now, but like I've really pared down to like everything I own kind of works with everything else I own.
Capsule.
Yes.
And like,
Capsule,
yeah,
right?
it's very like capsule-y in the fact that like there's not a lot of colors I wear. I'm pretty routinely like jeans and sweater, jeans and t-shirt.
Yes.
These like I don't wear heels. I don't like there's a lot of just like I've just narrowed into like what I really like wearing. And if
Yes.
I'm just going to a place where I'm wearing regular stuff the whole time, I'm like, this is a breeze. And I just like
Right.
remember how many times I've opened up a suitcase on a trip on when you like and you're like,
Yeah.
I wore one shirt the
Yes.
whole time.
You're
Mine's always,
hanging
like,
up 7
soccer shorts.
dresses for,
Yeah.
for a 4-night trip.
Like I
Yeah.
just want to be wearing like jeans and like a comfy but like respectable top.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yes.
all I want to be wearing. And so
Yes.
once I realized that, I was like, oh, well, now I know how to pack.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love this. I love this. I've been really getting into, I mean, I'll go on the road with a backpack.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that. But there's something really freeing to just being like, I'm just gonna go. I need 3 outfits for a week.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry. Like checking a bag is a
Yeah.
hell. It's a nightmare that I wouldn't wish on
Yeah.
anyone. And of course, like the bag gets lost. There's so many things that could go
I know.
wrong.
We've really destroyed air travel.
It's a
Yeah.
nightmare.
A
It's
once
nightmare.
luxurious and convenient way to move around the world is now just like my worst nightmare part of my job.
It's Greyhound. It's Greyhound.
When you go to the airport, sometimes like it's like a third world country. I mean,
Truly.
like, it's so populated. People are bringing. It feels like live chickens are in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Yeah,
like
it's like birds are
moving.
flying
Yeah, there's a
through.
lot of birds, and it's like also there's like the inequity that exists in the real world outside of the airport is so heightened in there because like you'll see someone eating like a piece of bread out of a napkin sitting next to someone who's drinking like a $29 bad martini at like a little restaurant that's like next. It's just like, oh, this is all terrible.
Yes.
It's truly bizarre. Now, are you a packing cube person?
No, but I
Okay.
am interested.
I am a packing cube person.
I have just not kind of pulled the trigger on that, but I really feel like it would be something I would enjoy.
I got a new set of packing cubes, and first of all, they're a fun Hawaiian print. It's like Hawaiian, like
yeah.
beach
Where'd you get
shirt.
them?
I got them on Amazon, which I don't usually shop,
course.
but I had my eye on these forever.
That's how I talk about everything. Where I'm like, it's from Amazon. I don't shop on Amazon, but it's like every
I do
time somebody asks me about
apologize.
something, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's from Amazon.
yeah.
I do apologize. I did, but I felt terrible about it.
Yes, and that's
I
honestly
regretted it.
all that matters.
But they're great though. They're a lovely thick canvas, and what I love about them is like you pile everything in, and then it actually has the other zipper that cinches all the way around, so it gets it tight.
Oh,
Yes,
And
yes.
I
it's
like that.
Really, and I've got like 6 different sizes, so I only usually bring like 2, like a big one and a little one. But it just makes me feel so much better to not have loose panties in the suitcase.
Yeah, I don't
always
like
just
digging.
picture it popping
Yeah.
Yeah,
open.
I'm not I don't enjoy the digging process. So
Yeah.
I as long as I can keep certain things in compartments,
I
it
tend
makes
to
my
use
life better.
a little like laundry delicates bag for
Yeah.
bras, underwear, and
Right.
socks. So
Yeah.
at least and then like toiletries are obviously in their own thing, and then it's
Yeah.
like everything else is pretty modular anyway.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
all you have to do is just like a pair of jeans and a few tops.
Yeah, that's all I need.
How
at
many
this
shoes
point.
do you bring? Because shoes are a big space killer.
I mean, I am not for somebody who like does love buying things.
Yeah.
Shoes were never something that I was like, I need a lot of shoes. Like,
Yes.
I think part of that's like my spine is made of metal at this point, and like
Yes.
I can't like I'm always just like I'm wearing sandals. It's
Yes.
February. Like I'm just like I
Which
don't
we
even
love.
I mean, I
those.
love
Yes.
I love like a cozy sock and a Birkenstock because I'm still like at my core just like a liberal arts college student.
I know. I'm like NPR, bring it on.
Yeah, I'm
baby.
like everything in my tote bag is organic, and also I'm the worst. But I don't have a lot of. I've my shoe shopping is pretty like narrowed into like how many can I wear this almost anywhere.
Yes.
Like I have like my fancy loafers, Gucci, and then
I know.
a white
I love 'em.
and a white sneaker and a sandal, and that's like pretty much my whole year's worth of shoes. And then
Yeah.
like I have some ankle boots that I'll wear sometimes, but like when I'm
Yeah.
packing for a trip, like I tend to just need 2 of those shoes.
Yeah.
So I'll wear one, I'll pack one. I'll wear sneaks. I'll throw some fancy shoes in there that are still flats and like casual and pretty easy to pack around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving the ballet flats are in again
back.
now. I'm like, these are my. I mean, no arch support, but
But
who
like from a
cares?
packing perspective, it's
Oh
just
my
Just
God,
you can
pop
do
it
20
in.
in there.
yeah, whole bag full
Good
of
to
them.
go. Do you ever do like a Newly or a clothing box? Have you ever partaked in one of those?
No, I'm a hunter gatherer. Like I'm a
Collector?
like Loman's closing was kind of like a formative moment for me when it closed. I was a lifetime Loman shopper, and like
Wow.
the hunt of like here's 85 racks of mostly garbage, but within that you'll find like a Marc Jacobs collection skirt for $50.
It's
I'm
the
in.
thrill. The
Yeah.
thrill. It's like nothing else.
That's why
So,
I still
like-
enjoy like TJ Maxx and a Marshalls, even though a lot of it's crap.
Yeah.
You can get
now
some
and then.
You can
pieces
still
in there.
find stuff, and
Yeah.
like it's harder and less fun, and there's less places to do it, and
Yeah,
there's
New York,
less,
you can't do it here.
there's less good stuff like making its way to that at this
Yeah.
point because
Yeah.
like there was a moment where like every clothing manufacturer, including the high level ones, like oversold everything and then
Yes.
like had too much or like whatever. And we've like kind of moved back from that. But like I buy a lot on the Real. I
okay.
like consignment stuff at this point. I feel
Yes.
like that's like an ethical move I'm making. I'm like, if I'm going to
Yes, I
spend
love
money
this.
and ship something, it should at least not be new.
Do you
Yes.
sell on the Real?
I do sometimes sell on the Real.
Yeah.
I had my shopping addiction was very intense for a while in like my like pre-comedy days. And
Yeah.
I still have a lot of the stuff that like is really nice. And so like some of it when I'm like, just from a size perspective, this is a useless garment to me.
Yeah.
So I've sold some stuff. And sometimes like I'll buy something and have it for a while and I'm like, I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing this as much as I thought I was going to. Why don't I just sell it? It's like a long process that like at the end of the day, it's like, well, 3 months later, I got $14 for something that I spent $300 on.
Yeah.
But I am like, well, at least it's not in my closet anymore,
And it went
as an option that I thought I had, because
Yes,
it wasn't.
and you didn't throw it into the ocean.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and I tend to do that with dresses for like fancy events too, because I'm like, I'll just buy a dress from the Real Real, wear it to an event, and then sell it back on the Real Real.
Right.
It's kind of like what's the rental?
It's
Rent the
rental,
runway.
yeah.
It's like Rent the Runway, but like there's just kind of better
Little
stuff.
shipping.
I do that
shipping.
with Poshmark, where
Yeah.
I'm basically, it's a barter system with other ladies.
Yes.
Like, I want to get something, I can usually find it there. Once I've worn it and I've had my fun with it, I move it on and get something else.
Exactly.
Kind of fun. You tapped into a community.
Yes.
Well, women are all about community, and I think
We
that
are.
we like built that kind of like economy because we're like, well, this is something we understand.
Yeah.
And like
Yes.
that's what Poshmark
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's not white collar crime.
Right. No, it's fine. We're just trading fancy dresses. It's like,
Allison, it was so amazing to have
oh
you
my God. I
on.
had
Yes,
so much
I
fun.
know.
I could talk to you gals for
Oh my gosh.
truly
Right?
ages.
An eternity. An eternity.
Really?
Tell our listeners where they can find you, what they can keep in touch and look up.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter still.
Love-
I'm like,
I love
Your
Twitter, so
Your Twitter is fun. It keeps
I'm going
me
down
going.
with the ship.
I am too. I've accepted
opinions
it.
about salads.
yeah, it's a
and
lot of
I
me
love
screaming
it.
like lime is a good popsicle flavor.
Yeah.
And it is.
and it is.
So it is.
And I'm on TikTok. I've only posted 2 TikToks, and they're both from like 6 months ago at this point. And one of them is just a zoom in of my cat staring at me from the bathroom, and the other one is me commenting over the Westminster Dog Show, telling you which brand each dog is. And I was like, "This bulldog is Carhartt." And
Yeah.
like just very silly. But then I gave up immediately
Delightful.
on doing that again. So you can follow me on TikTok if you want to, and Instagram and Twitter at Alison Leiby, ALISONLAIBY.
I love you on Twitter because you start some shit sometimes with the funniest, the
I-
bodega one where
The
you're like,
bodega tweet is still like, I think I won't quit Twitter because
and
the
the
bodega
garbage
tweet.
can, right? What? You had a garbage can one?
I think so.
I forget. But the
I've had
bodega
it-
one was wild.
The bodega one was like, if we have like 1 minute.
Yeah,
3
1
minutes,
minute. Yeah.
please.
That's one was really funny to me.
To me, it's the funniest thing that's ever happened. But I like tweeted, I was like stoned, and it was like fall 2020. So like we're still like just like the phone is everything.
Yes.
And I tweeted like, hey, people who live outside New York, where do you go to buy paper towels and Diet Coke? And what are those, peanut M&Ms? Yeah, I'll have some of those too. Like, and it's just like a joke about how like I'll buy candy literally whenever I see it.
Yeah. And we can
and-
do it on a daily basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like there's always candy around and I can buy it. And it's
love it.
distracting to me when I'm trying to buy like necessities like paper towels and Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And everybody like got really offended that it seemed like it was like a New York City elitism of like, oh, where do you? And then everybody was like, oh, a gas station because I'm an American. And I was like, cool, you shop at a gas station. I don't know like what kind of own you think this is, but
Wow.
like Kellyanne Conway's husband weighed in, Chance the Rapper weighed it.
Wow.
It went viral, but like I kind of like tweeted it and then like went and like made dinner and was like, it was the night before I was like moving too. So I was just like chaos in my apartment. And then I like come back to my phone and like I couldn't even like open Twitter because it was refreshing so much that
Yeah.
it like kept just being like,
Did you think that was going to happen to you with this tweet? That's the funny thing.
it's always those
It's
tweets. It's
nothing-
never where you're like, here's a really controversial take.
Yeah.
Everybody's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like, by the way, I have a whole one woman play about abortion. If you want
truly
to weigh in.
never
Yeah.
got doxxed over that. But when I was just like, hey, where do you shop if you don't live in New York? Also, I love candy. Everybody's like, I wish you were dead. But like it became so big. And like everybody was like dunking on, and I was like, oh, I don't feel like you can't make me feel bad about this because I
Yeah.
don't care enough to feel
Right.
bad. And I remember
also like own it.
Yeah.
Lean into it.
yeah. And I was like, I hope this is, I like tweeted, like, I hope this ends up on New York 1 tomorrow. And like, sure enough, they talked about it on New York 1. And I'm like the world's biggest fan of New York 1. I think it's a public utility that should be
love New
available
York
to every
1.
single
It's a comedy
New Yorker.
Whether
show.
on the ones.
Whether on the ones,
Oh,
Yeah.
when they
gosh.
fired Eric Adame, I was just like, you can't. I have a lot going on with them. I love them. But it was like on, and everybody was like, texting me like, are you okay? Like, this is so scary. And I was like, I'm having the time of my life. This is the funniest thing that's ever happened to me. I want to make
great.
merch with the bodega items from the tweet.
Yes.
With like a little like paper towel, Diet Coke, and peanut M&Ms.
And
Right.
like a threat on your life.
So yeah, you can still find me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Fun to be had.
Refuse to leave.
Thanks for listening, Lady Journey.
Lady Journey.